Welcome to CBTV.
Fifth body, the body outside the body. Each one of us can be present in many places in the world. We can be here and at the same time in a prison. We can be here and also in a distant country where the children suffer from malnutrition. We don't have to be present with our physical body. When I write a book, I transform myself into thousands of me that can go a little bit everywhere. Every book becomes my body outside the body. I can enter a home in the form of one of my calligraphies. I can go to a prison in the form of a DVD. One time when I was teaching in Madrid, Spain, a woman from South Africa told me about mental health clinic that had program about of mindfulness to play over its PA system. A bell of mindfulness is a bell that reminds us to stop and come home to ourselves. Every time the doctors, nurses, and patients heard the bell, they would stop what they were doing and come back to themselves, relax, and enjoy breathing mindfully. The clinic also programmed mindfulness bells to sound on its computer and phones. This woman reported that it had a very calming positive effect on all the healthcare professionals and patients. I have often suggested that it's possible to create moments of stopping, calming, and true presence in healthcare environments, but I have never been to this clinic, nor have our Dharma teachers. How it is possible that none of us has never been there yet? They practice stopping with about the same time we do in all our mindfulness practice centers. Our presence, our practice and actions are non-local. I'm not just this flesh and these bones weighing several dozen kilos. In many prisons in North America and the United Kingdom, there are inmates who practice walking and sitting meditation. They have learned to breathe, to walk, to speak with kindness and compassion. These prisoners are also me. They are my body because they have read my books. They are practicing what they have read and are continuing me. They are my body outside my body. One prisoner happened to have the book Stepping into Freedom, the manual I wrote for training novice monks and nuns, and after reading it, he wanted to become a novice monk. Realizing it would be impossible for anyone to ordain him, he saved it all his own head and transmitted to himself the precept that the teachers normally would pass on to a student. Then he practiced as a novice monk in his cell in the prison. When I hear this kind of story, I know that I am everywhere and my community body is everywhere. Our bodies is not local. The prisoners who is practicing mindful walking in us is. Our bodies is not only there, our bodies is there. We are present everywhere at the same time. It is the same for a father and son, or a mother and daughter. When a father looks at his son with the eyes of solaceness, he sees that his son is also himself. He is the father, but he is also the son. When a father looks like that, he can see his body outside his body. When a child looks at his father and sees himself in his father, he sees his body outside his body. When looking at our children or grandchildren, we see ourselves and we begin to see our body outside this body. Sixth body, the continuation body. Throughout our life, we produce energy. We say things and do things, and every thought, every word, and every act carries our signature. What we produce as thoughts, as speech, as action continues to influence the world. And this is our continuation body. Our actions carry us into the future. We are like stars whose light energy continued to radiate across the cosmos millions of years after they became extinct. When you produce a thought of hatred, anger, or despair, it harms you and also harms the world. None of us wants to be continued like that. We all want to produce thoughts of compassion, understanding, and love. When you are able to produce a thought of compassion and understanding, it is healing and nourishing for yourself and the world. Just an an acidic cloud produce acid rains, so will the energy of anger, fears, blaming, or discrimination produce a toxic environment for ourselves and others. Use your time wisely. Every moment it is possible to think, say, and do something that inspires hope, forgiveness, and compassion. You can do something to protect and help others and your world. We have to train ourselves in the art of right thinking so we can produce positive, nourishing thoughts every day. If you had a negative thought about someone in the past, it's not too late to do something about it. The present moment contains both the past and the future. If today you can produce a thought of compassion, of love, of forgiveness, then the positive thought has the power to transform the negative thought of yesterday and to guarantee a more beautiful future tomorrow. Every day we can practice producing thoughts of compassion. Thinking is already action. Every compassionate thought bears our signature. It is our continuation. Our words are energy that has a ripple effect far beyond our imagining. We must learn the art of communicating so our speech can bring about love, reconciliation, and understanding, just as it tastes bitter to utter words that are negative or unkind. It feels wonderful to say something full of understanding and love. Reconciling with someone we are angry with using loving speech is healing for both parties. Straight away we feel lighter and at peace. Challenge yourself, practice mindful breathing, deep breathing, and see the suffering in yourself and the other person. Then resolve to call him or her and produce 1 or 2 minutes of right speech. We may have been waiting a long time to do this. Perhaps they have been waiting for us too, without even knowing it. Perhaps instead of calling, you can write an email or a text message that is full of understanding and compassion. Healing already takes place, even before you send it. It is never too late to reconcile with a loved one, even if they have already passed away. You can still write them a letter, expressing your regrets and love. This alone will bring about peace and healing. Your words can be beautiful gems, reaching across space and time to create mutual understanding and love. We are also continued in our bodily actions. Whenever we do something with our physical body that protects, helps, saves, or inspires someone else, this act is also nourishing and healing for us and for the world. We need to ask ourselves, where am I investing my physical energy? What will I leave behind when my body disintegrates? What can I do today to realize my dreams? Let's look again at the cloud in the sky. While the cloud is still a cloud, she can already begin to see her continuation body in the form of rain, snow, or hail. Let's say one third of the cloud has become rain and the other two-thirds of the cloud is still up in the sky, happily watching the rain falling down to earth. She is seeing her continuation body. To be a cloud is beautiful, but to be rain falling down and coming a stream and becoming a stream of water is also beautiful. The cloud enjoys looking down from the sky and seeing her continuation body as a fresh, clear stream of water meandering through the countryside. When I was 80 years old, a journalist asked me if I ever planned to retire as a spiritual teacher. I smiled and explained that teaching is given not by talking alone, but by the way we live our life. Our life is a teaching. Our life is a message. And so I explained that as long as I continue to practice mindful sitting, walking, eating, and interact with my community and those around me, I will continue to teach. I told her that I had already started encouraging my senior students to begin to replace me by giving their own Dharma talks. Many of them have given wonderful Dharma talks, and some have been better than mine. When they teach, I see myself continue in them. When you look at your son, your daughter, and or your grandchildren, you can see that they are your continuation. When a school teacher looks at their class, they can see their students as their continuation. If they are a happy school teacher, if they have a lot of freedom, compassion, and understanding, their students will also be happy and feel understood. It is possible for each of us to see our continuation right away. This is something we have to remind ourselves to do every day. When I look at my friends, students, and the more than 1,000 monks and nuns I have ordained who are practicing mindfulness and leading retreats around the world, I see my continuation body. Even if we are still very young, we already have a continuation body. Can you see it? Can you see how you are continued in your parents, in your brothers and sisters, in your teachers and friends? Can you see the continuation body of your parents and loved ones? We don't need to get old or die in order to see our continuation body. We don't need to wait for the complete disintegration of this body in order to begin to see our continuation body. Just as a cloud doesn't need to have been entirely transformed into the rain in order to see her continuation body. Can you see your rain, your river, your ocean? Each one of us should train ourselves to see our continuation body in the present moment. If we can see our continuation body while we're still alive, we'll know how to cultivate it to ensure a beautiful continuation in the future. This is the true art of living. Then, when the time comes for the dissolution of our physical body, we will be able to release it easily. I sometimes liken my body to the water being boiled in a kettle that eventually turns into steam. When my body disintegrates, you might say, Thich Nhat Hanh has died. But this is not true. I will never die. My nature is the nature of the cloud, the nature of no birth and no death. Just as it's impossible for a cloud to die, it's impossible for me to die. I enjoy contemplating my continuation body, just as the cloud enjoys watching the rain fall and become the rivers far below. If you look closely at yourself, you will see how you too are continuing me in some way. If you breathe in and out, and you find peace, happiness, and fulfillment, you know I am always with you, whether my physical body is still alive or not. I am continue in my many friends, students, and monastic disciples. I'm continuing in countless people all over the world whom I have never met, but who have read my books, listened to one of my talks, or practiced mindfulness with a local community or in one of our practice centers. If you look with the eyes of silentness, you will be able to see me far beyond this body. So, the shortest answer to the question, what happened when I die, is that you don't die. And that's the truth. Because when you understand the nature of a person who is dying, and you understand the nature of the act of dying, you will see there is no such thing as death anymore. There is no self who dies. There is only transformation.